Computer programming language. So in upcoming classes we will discuss about SQL programming. So we would like to know about programming, just basic what programming, computer programming is. So as you can see on the left, we have level of programming languages. We have high level programming, we have low level programming, we have executable machine code. So high level programming, that's what we do. On the left you can see this picture. High level programming is what we write basically with English language, different kind of language we write, and then these are nothing but instruction. It has specific compiler that will run the compile the instructions for us. It will go to lower level programming, which you can see here. It's compiler language basically, and then ultimately it will go to machine code, which is 0 and 1 will represent, and machine will work on that. Now our programming, what kind of programming that we write. So you can see here what are the type of programming language. We have first generation language, second generation language, third generation language, fourth generation language. So first generation language, this is basically a machine code. Second generation language, you can see assembly code. You can consider that at lower level. So third generation starts from the from us, like we write third generation language and fourth generation language. So third generation, common third generation language, which is like you can say C, C++, stuff like that. These are third generation language, and then it has kind of less interface to write down the code. Visual Basic, basically we can categorize that in fourth generation. Okay, so I have removed Visual Basic, so we can consider Visual Basic is for fourth generation. Java we can consider in third generation. C, C++, we will have less interface to work on, and little more detail oriented programming. And then fourth generation has some aid on that. The example of fourth generation language are it can be a SQL. SQL itself is a fourth generation language. So it requires less instruction to perform a task, whereas C, C++, which is third generation, needs detail oriented instruction to implement this task. So that's the main difference between third generation and fourth generation language. Scripting languages are you have script, and there are basic instruction for that, and it can perform a task. It can be used in web. JavaScript is one of them. VBScript is one of them. Now scripting language, to execute that, basically main difference between regular language and scripting language is like it's pretty simple. It doesn't require any compiler or anything. It doesn't need to be converted to lower level and to perform a task. So that's the reason without compiler it compiles, and that's the reason it's called scripting language. Another language is HTML. It's for it stands for hypertext markup language. It's for internet. The language is for internet, basically the basic language of internet. So whenever you go see a page behind the scene, actually it's on HTML. Whatever program you write, it gets converted to HTML and shows it to the user or clients. And it's used tag to represent that. We can see an example. So this picture represents HTML code, HTML. These are called tag. Starting HTML, end HTML, and then the title. These are also another tag. Head. Every tag has starting and ending. You will see in bracket or parenthesis it has head. So starting, and within that it has title tag, and within that it's written XYZ. So on a title of the document it will show XYZ, and on the body you have body of a page, of a web page. On the body it will be written this text that is, or statement that is written here. So this is the standard sample code of HTML or HTML language. So another one, we have extended markup language, that is XML. This language is for a specific purpose. Actually it represents, it describes the data, and the purpose of XML language is structured format data representation in web. So on a web page, electronically it shares the structured data on public, on internet. So another term of programming we want to know, that is object-oriented programming. We just need to know at least the term, because it will be used. What is object-oriented? Some of the students definitely know about it, so object-oriented program is it's a structural program that has some definition of class and object. Class and object relationship, how we can represent. Let's say, for example, you have a car, and a car is a basic, or you can consider as vehicle. And vehicle is, if that is a class, then you have object that can be considered as a car, or truck, or van. This kind of categorized thing will be object. And then there are other concepts in programming that you can create an instance of a class, and which will be a specific class of like a green color, or red color, blue color, or you can put some attributes on that. The vehicle, all the vehicles are not four-wheelers. Bicycles are like two-wheelers. So you will make a class of it, and then that class will be used throughout your programming. Classes, like it has certain things like attribute. We saw attribute like student class, let's say. So student ID, student name, student phone number. These are attribute of the student, and then student can do certain things. So student can participate on exams. So that is one method. So class has all this, and object, if it's initiated from or created from a class. So if we create that, all the attribute and method it will get. Or object can have its own attribute as well, which other object cannot have. So certain things, certain structure, higher level are there. At this moment I think we just need to know higher level. So there are some attributes of object-oriented programming, that is polymorphism, data abstract, encapsulation, inheritance. So inheritance, I just explained that if attributes are there in a class like vehicle, and you create a category of vehicle, that is a car object, or bicycle, or a truck category. So it will inherit all the attributes or functions that is there, and then you can control that. Even sometimes for an object it may not get all the attributes and method. So I have given an example here. Just do your own research on that, just for getting some knowledge on that. This terminology is very important for computer programming language, and everywhere it's used, object-oriented programming. So that's all we have for programming, computer programming.